last time, even the extinct one, and then... Goodbye. Goodbye.
Take the screen away, please.
But the wind.
I don't really need it. The nice air will do me good. I am a flower after all.
Here then, let me take that caterpillar away. I know how it upset.
No! No! Leave it. I suppose I must endure the presence of 2 or 3 caterpillars if I wish to be acquainted with the butterflies. Seems they are very beautiful. And if not for the caterpillars and butterflies, who will I talk to? You will be far away. And as for any larger creatures, I'm not afraid. I have my thorns to protect me. Well, don't linger like this. You said you're going to leave now, so of course I will. Goodbye.
That was the last time I saw her. Is that my flower?
No, that's just a doodle. I was just doodling.
Of course, she has more petals than that. She has a longer stem, and she has 4 thorns. You remember?
Listen, I told you I don't draw. I've only ever drawn boa constrictors from the outside and boa constrictors from the inside.
It's all right. Children will understand.
Children were never the problem. It's the grown-ups who couldn't see.
It's really quite good. Not as good as my sheep, of course. But who knows? If you keep trying, you could probably become an artist instead of...
Instead of what? Look, I've got work to do here. Important things.
Important things.
Yes, important things. And isn't it about time for you to take your leave? The sun has set after all.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. How am I supposed to know the details of your flower anyway? More petals? Longer stem? For all I know, the thing could look like... Who cares what it looks like?
I did the right thing, didn't I? Letting him go. Making him leave. Why did I do that? Why did he do that? Couldn't you see? Didn't you know? Of course I love him.
Now, much better than yesterday.
That's not for you. Give me that.
I see you made the stem longer and added the thorns and a tear.
Well, I thought you probably felt sad.
Yes, you're right, of course, but all I knew then was how I felt. I was too young to know how to love her. The fact is, I didn't understand anything at all. So, I flew away. I traveled from star to star. I drifted around the cosmos until I came upon an entire group of planets, each inhabited by only one person. The first one I came to was inhabited by a king, seated upon a throne. He was clad in a robe of royal purple and ermine that almost completely covered his planet. Though he had never seen me before, he recognized me immediately.
Ah, a subject. Approach, that I may see you better.
Ooh.
It is not proper to yawn in the presence of a king. I order you not to yawn.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I've traveled a long way and I haven't had any sleep.
Then, I order you to yawn. Yes, it's been years since I've seen anyone yawn. Go on, give us a good one now. It's an order.
I'm sorry, I guess I can't anymore.
Then, I order you to sometimes yawn and sometimes not to yawn. There, you see, my orders are very reasonable, don't you think?
May I sit down?
I order you to sit down.
Sir?
Sire.
Sire?
Sure.
Sire, excuse me for asking a question.
I order you to ask me a question.
Over what you rule?
Over everything.
Everything.
Everything!
And the stars obey you?
Certainly they do. And the moon. And the sun as well.
Well, then if please, sire, could you possibly order a sunset? I should love to see a sunset.
And so you shall.
When?
Moon, I shall command it. But I must wait for conditions to be favorable.
When do you think that will be?
About 20 to 8 this evening. You shall see how well I am obeyed.
Excuse me, sire, but I should be going.
Oh, don't go. I'll make you a minister of justice.
But there's no one here to judge.
And you shall judge yourself. That is the most difficult thing of all.
Judge myself?
It's a far more difficult thing to judge oneself than it is to judge others.
Then I knew it might be of some value to visit other planets. Oh yes, what a good idea.
What?
You could draw them. Then whoever looks at your pictures will be as if they made my journey as well.
Wait a minute.
The
I
next
don't.
one that I visited was inhabited by a very great person. And he recognized me immediately as well.
Ah! An admirer!
Good morning. What a strange hat you're wearing.
It's a hat for acknowledging compliments. I raise it when people acclaim it. Unfortunately, nobody ever passes by this way. Now sit right down there. Very good. Very good. Now slap your hands together. Once again. Now faster. Ah! You admire me very much.
Well,
I just love it when you admire me.
admire. What does that mean?
It means you regard me as the handsomest, best dressed, richest, the most intelligent man on this planet.
But
You're
you're
the
the
only
only
man on this planet.
Even so, couldn't you still admire me?
I agreed to admire him, but I didn't know why that should be so important to him. Oh, that's very good.
You think?
I can almost see him. Tipping his hat.
Hats. Yeah, grown-ups certainly are fond of hats.
I know. I found them to be altogether very strange.
So have I. So anyway, what happened next?
My flower, she cast her fragrance and radiance over me, and I never ought to have left her. The next planet I visited belonged to a businesswoman who was so busy.
2 and 3 make 5, 5 and 7 make 12,
Good morning.
26 and 5 makes 31. That makes 501,622,700.
500 million what?
I can't stop now. Can't you see I'm far too busy? I'm concerned with important things.
Millions
501
of what?
millions of those little objects in the sky.
Flies?
No, glittering objects.
Fireflies?
No, little golden objects that set lazy men to idle dreaming.
Ah, you mean the stars? that own the stars?
To whom do they belong?
I don't know. To nobody?
They belong to me, because I was the first person to think of it.
What good does it do to own the stars?
Why, it makes me rich.
What good does that do to you?
It means I can put them in the bank.
What does that mean?
It means that I write down the number of my stars on a piece of paper, and I take the piece of paper, and I put it in a drawer, and I lock it with a key.
I myself want a flower which I water every day, so it is of some use to my flower that I own her. But you have no use at all to the star. I traveled onward, and soon noticed a lonely, glittering light. And there, on a planet even smaller than my own, stood a sweet old man, just for a cold winter, faithfully lighting his street. Good morning. Why did you just put your lamp out?
Those are the orders. Morning.
What are the orders?
The orders are that I... Oops. Good evening.
But why didn't you just light it again?
Those are the orders.
I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. Orders are orders. I follow a terrible profession. In the old days, it was reasonable. In the morning, I'd put the lamp out, and in the evening, I'd light it again. I had the rest of the day for relaxation, and the rest of the night for sleep.
The orders have changed since then?
Good morning. The orders have not been changed. Now that's the tragedy. You see, year after year, the plannings turn faster and faster, and the orders have not been changed. Now, once every minute, I have to light my lamp and put it out again.
That's very funny. A day only lasts a minute here?
It's not funny at all. Good evening. While we've been talking together, a whole month has gone by.
Oh, a month? I can tell you where you can rest whenever you want to.
Oh, tell me. I always want to rest. Good morning.
You see, your planet is so small that 3 whole steps would take you all the way around. So if you walk slowly, very slowly, the day will last as long as you like.
That doesn't do me much good, I'm afraid. There's one thing I like to do in this life. It's sleep. And you can't sleep if you're walking. Good evening.
Then you are unlucky.
I am alive. Good morning. Good evening. Good morning. Good evening.
To me, that man was the only one of them who didn't seem selfish. Perhaps he knew that what he did was useful. Therefore, people. John looks very much like him.
You think?
He was the only one of them. I could have made my friend. But there was not enough room on his planet for 2 people. The last planet I visited was that of...
A geographer.
What's a geographer?
A geographer is a scholar who knows the location of all the rivers, seas, towns, mountains, and deserts.
Ah, that's very interesting. Your planet is beautiful. Does it have any oceans?
I couldn't tell you.
What about mountains?
Don't know.
What about towns, rivers, and seas?
But you're a geographer!
But exactly. But I am not an explorer. Explorers count the towns, rivers, mountains, seas, oceans, and deserts. Geographers are much too important to do that. We stay at our desks and record what the explorers recall of their travels. Well, I recognize you now. You're an explorer. You can describe my planet to me. Oh, no, wait, you come from far away. Describe your planet to me.
Well, I have a flower. She's the most beautiful thing on all my planet.
We don't record flowers
Why not?
because they are ephemeral.
What does that mean? Ephemeral.
It means in danger of speedy disappearance.
Danger of speedy disappearance.
My flower is in danger of speedy disappearance.
Certainly it is.
My flower is ephemeral and she has only 4 thorns to defend herself against all the world. And I have left her alone on my planet. What do I do?
Why don't you visit the planet Earth? I hear it has a good reputation.
So I did. When I arrived here on Earth, I met someone. Good evening.
Good evening.
What planet is this?
This is Earth. This is Africa.
Ah, then there are no people on Earth.
This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The earth is large.
Look at my planet. It's right there, above us.
It's very beautiful.
I wonder whether the stars shine brightly here so that each of us can find his way home.
What has brought you here?
I have been having some trouble with a flower.
A flower? Ah!
Where are the men? It's very lonely in the desert.
It is all so lonely among men.
You are a funny animal. You're no thicker than a finger.
But I am more powerful than the finger of a king.
You're not very powerful. You don't have any feet.
But I can carry you further than any ship. Whomever I touch, I send back to whence they came. But you are innocent and true and come from a star. You moved me to pity. You are so weak on this earth made of granite. But I can help you someday. If you grow too homesick, I can. Do you know who I am?
Oh, yes. Very well.
You shouldn't be talking to snakes, you know. They're dangerous. And you certainly shouldn't trust them. Snakes are treacherous creatures.
That's very good. You've been hiding your talents.
What's going on here?
You shouldn't tell them not to trust